Alright, there we go. I'm unmuted. Anyways, what was I doing for the first minute? Right now what's happening is straight up, Twitch just doesn't want to load, so I can't see whether my stream is going through just fine or not. And I'm gonna just assume it's going through just fine, but chances are it's not. I'm gonna have to open up Twitch on my phone here just to make sure that, hey, it is fine. God damn it. Because I've seen this before where certain things, stream manager, please, thank you. Alright. Oh, even the stream manager is not showing. What is going on? Let me ask someone real quick. Actually, we'll look at our own stream. So if we go to Twitch. Twitch. Let's go. Let's find out. Yeah, there we go. Let's see. The video download was canceled. Click here to reload the player. Alright, we can stop and we can start. I can see. Oh, is this why? Is that what happened? Oh my god. Why is it? Oh no. Oh no. Uh-oh. Give me 1 second. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Stop. Start. Maybe that is why? Okay. Whew. Whew. Okay. Offline. This video is only at what? What is going on? Okay, finally we got through. I think we got through. I think we're fine. Jesus Christ, I didn't even change anything. Oh, jeez. Oh, I did change something. I changed it specifically for the recording. I said stream, not record. Recording should totally be different than streaming. That is crazy. Okay. Reload the player. Oh, reload. Oh, okay, come on, buddy. Okay. Oh, no. Go into Twitch yet again. Come on, Twitch. Dude, this is literally gonna be 5 minutes of the stream. Just going back and forth. And trying to figure, hey, work, please. Oh, are we working? Are we working? Oh, we are working finally. Oh, Jesus Christ. I was going through it. Okay. Boom, at least I have certain sections going through. This is going to be the lower end version of the stream. Oh my god. But yeah, it's going crazy. It's going fine. We are at a point where it still makes sense. We're minus 15 to minus 10 for everything else. Actually, I don't like that. It will go back into compressor, not noise gate, into compressor. I swear to God, compressor and noise gate look practically the same. We're gonna decrease the threshold to 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we should sound a little bit better now. We are in the minus 10 range. And then I can go a little farther. So it feels like there's a little more dynamic range if I do something like this. Okay, so that's less compressed. It's not too much. Not everything is close to each other and it sounds like kind of garbage. But I don't actually know how I sound, so we are going to check it right now. Okay, it's not too bad, honestly. It is a little low in terms of how it sounds. Okay, so we're fine. I sound a little far. But right now, I think I sound a bit better. Yes, this is a little bit better. We're getting a little bit more of the low end instead of earlier. Okay, there we go. And that's literally it. Slight changes. Okay, let's try a typing test real quick. Okay. Where is it? 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 Oh my god. Harry Potter don't have footprints. I totally forgot to go into this section where there's a lot of other things that's available, but you know. Oh, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Okay. But yes, that was me in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. There can be no light without the dark, and so it is with magic. Myself, I always strive to live within the light. Is that what you told Tom Riddle, sir, when he came asking questions? Ooh, that's fun, fun. Okay, so that's how it sounds like. It's not the worst thing. So, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, that took a little while. Okay. All right, I need a certain amount of things. I'm gonna grab them. This is one. This is two. I need this guy. Boom. Okay. 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. I'm much louder now. Yeah, no, there is a little bit of echo and reverb coming off of the walls. I literally have one of the worst setups in terms of getting better audio. Because straight up, I think part of the issue that I have is I literally have a concave screen to my left, and there's getting just reflections upon reflections in that section. I actually need either one, a shotgun mic with the shotgun polar pattern where it's straight down, so for example the MK416, or something else. Yeah, I wonder what's better and or within the throwing distance of the MK416, right? Because I want the MKH8018, which is a stereo shotgun, and I want it because of the stereo. I'm like, ooh, stereo. But no, I think I'll just use it as a mono source, like normal, but still. I just think it's nice to have that weird kind of like your ears are actually working than just having a mono signal. You know? Okay, let's go. All right, so actually let's start lubing, but let's talk about this thing. Where is it? There we go. Whew. I'm really tired, but effectively I have changed, as you can see, I've changed a little bit of things. I have right now a entire section that is straight up swapped over. So as you can see, the left hand side we have a bunch of pens and whatnot. So unlike before, it used to be the Roadcaster, and I think this is actually better now. Yeah, this is effectively better now. Yeah, instead of what it was previously, because previously we were kind of stuck in the... Oh, what happened here? Is that broken? It looks like there's a broken piece on this one. Huh. Oh, it is a broken piece. Like, some of the rubber has gone out. I'll pull it out and see. Hopefully it's fine, but... Okay, whatever. As you can see, that is what it is. There you go. So that's just the stem, and all we're gonna be doing is we're just kind of be lubing most things today. Just the left and right hand side of these things, the stem, and then the front and back. And that's literally all we do. We're just coating it enough to push it through, I guess. This is not the most exciting thing ever to watch someone stream, but it's one of those things where, oh, I was gonna do it anyway, so you might as well bring people along for the ride. Yeah, I am effectively doing a bunch of things that are quite crazy idiotic, but effectively right now I'm trying to create a weird system in terms for work in order to be a lot more efficient than I currently am, because right now I am doing decent, but I feel like I could just be doing so much better, which is ridiculous. But at the same time, I do want to create a system where it makes sense for work, where me working is not going to be too much of an issue. And that means I have more energy to go over here and start streaming in general. Or for work, I will do some weird co-working streams. And co-working streams are a little bit different. The hard part about co-working streams is that I can't show anyone anything, but it's basically me just kind of being there and then looking at chat once in a while and going, yeah, man, like that's cool. You're doing a thing. I'm doing a thing. And we're just there in silence. Or I'll be there talking to myself going, I don't think that makes sense, blah, 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 etc., etc., etc. But other than that, I'm not really doing anything crazy. Boom. And then we're just going to hopefully keep going. This is about 70 switches. And hopefully I can keep up at a decent pace. These are the Zealios 67 gram switches. This is the lighter version of switches, because normally switches, if you're in the cherry stuff, which is the normal ones, aka the ones you can find easily, instead of the, what's it called, the custom ones. The custom ones normally reach around 50, and some of them are at 45. But the more common ones are the 55 and 65s for the gram for the actuation force. In other words, to start moving the switch, it starts at around 65. And the reason for that is you might think, oh my god, isn't heavier worse? If it's for gaming, heavier tends to be worse, because once when I first started the hobby, it was kind of hilarious. I decided, because I was terribly curious, I thought to myself, what do 78 gram switches feel like? And I thought that would be an interesting experiment. And I tried it, and they were terribly tactile, and that was awesome. And I loved them for about a week. And after the week was up, I didn't realize, because at work I do a lot of typing at the time, and now I do a lot of typing again. But so I think it'll be the thing that happens with those types of switches. If you are doing a lot of typing, those types of switches, the really heavy ones, they're terribly great. They are actually great, because you tend to strike the switches themselves, and it ends up with you getting a cushion more than, being tired. Like, it feels more like a cushion, especially when you're striking the keys very hard. But if you are one of those who, brushes the keys or just lightly presses the keys, then you end up with fatigue. So it depends on the type of, typer you are, how well you type, or the type of what technique you use to type. There it is. That is the word I was trying to use. The technique you normally use to type. So depending on the technique you use to type, it will depend on how heavy you want your switches. So the heavier the switches, the better. But like I was saying, for the first week, I was fine using the 78-gram switches. After that, I was playing Apex, I think, at the time. I was playing Apex only to press to go forward. And I was like, oh my god, my keyboard's not working. I'm not going forward. And I looked down into my finger, and I can swear I am tapping the W button to move forward. I was like, yeah, I'm tapping the W. I'm pushing it down. And I'm looking at my finger, and my finger is just not moving. In my brain, I for sure was thinking, yeah, I'm going to push this downwards. I'm pushing this downwards in my brain. But in reality, looking at the board, looking at my finger, it wasn't budging a goddamned millimeter. And I went, holy Krasnugs. My brain was not fatigued, but my muscles were. That was crazy. That was crazy. But now I can use 78-gram switches just fine because I've practiced them and I've used them for such a long time that it effectively does not matter whatsoever at this point. So, I don't know. It is a double-edged sword. Like, I don't hate it. It's not the worst thing to have in general, but definitely if you weren't even at 65, I would not suggest the 78-gram switches or anything higher than 60. Because 55 to 65 is the norm, right? 45 is a little more common than 55. But 55 and 45 is the most common. 65 is uncommon, but it does happen. So if you aren't on the 65s, going over the 65 by a huge margin of at least 10 grams, you can be terribly confused after a while, going, oh, I do need to move things. Like, oh, Jesus Christ. I do need things to be able to move, but it is not moving, even though I believe they are, quote-unquote, being pressed down. So that is insane. I never thought I would have that experience in my life, but I was able to get that experience in my life, and it was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious. You know? What? Oh. How does that... What? Oh, the battery's exhausted for that very specific thing. Alright, so I guess we're just doing the top down. Yeah. Alright, boom. I think we're fine. All I do is just push down and, press these and lube them. I think I really should zoom this in for this very specific stream, but at the same time, I'm used to not needing that at this moment. Because at one point, I think the quality degrades to such a degree that it doesn't really matter. That you could just squint and see, and then I can bring this a little higher. Like, look at that. I can bring it quite higher. We get a decent amount of, what's it called? Like, it has close focus, so it's gonna be fine. That was what I was looking for. Like, that was the words I was looking for. It's like, yeah, it's great. Boom. But yeah, this is like general labor. You don't have to really think about it. You just kind of do it. And I kind of messed up there, so we're just gonna see if we can reduce that. But yeah. So right now, what I do personally is I take these, and instead what I do, as you can see, is I make sure not to do the legs. So there's the legs. Oh, the legs, the little squiggly part at the end there. Can I? Yeah, I think this is, yeah, the squiggly part on the top section there. That section, that's the section that I don't actually lube. However, sometimes when I'm lubing this, right, like that, so I don't know if I can show that. Oh, there we go. If I'm lubing like that, it slips and it goes over it. That's when I try to use my finger to remove a little bit of that lube. Just make sure you don't. Can you imagine it slips and you go like... It's poisonous, guys. Don't do that, all right? Do not do that. Do not push that through. Yeah. Oh, so here's the weird lowdown that's happening. So chances are very high, and I don't think it's gonna change at any given moment right now, but I'm gonna be working on the 30th, and I just told some of my friends, like, oh, you know, I think I might be able to make the trip on the 30th, and they're like, oh yeah, that's cool, well, hopefully we'll see you there. And I'm like, oh, I looked at schedule and went, oh, it looks like I'm working on the 30th. Oh, because originally we were going to go out of, we were going to go deeper into Canada on a trip where it's going to be great. It's going to be the entire weekend. We're going to share a hotel, blah, blah, blah. But if I have work, I can't really go because the work is on the 30th. We're going to leave on the 29th. So I don't see how I can go to the thing on the 30th. I don't have a car, and I can't exactly Uber someplace that's 2 hours away to be like, hey guys, I'll catch up. Right? Oh wait, no, that's day 2. So if it was day 1, yeah, day 2, I can't go like 8 hours away and go, hey guys, I'm gonna catch up. I'll see you guys there. I'm just gonna drive all the way straight over the weekend. No, that's just not happening. I either get in on the 29th and then, you know, try to get back on the 30th, which is going to be next to impossible because there are no like long distance Ubers. And I'm not about to go, okay, I need a way back. I do not want to rent a car. Renting a car is a little BS, but I get it. A lot of people do it. And I'm actually considering it, but I don't want to. I'm considering the ability to rent a car. I don't think renting a car is a good thing right now because I can't afford it. Yeah, no, if it's an 8-hour drive, there's no way. There are Ubers that take you 2 hours away from here though. Really? Dude, I've had Uber drivers that just cancel the trip when they realize it's about an hour with traffic. So 2 hours, it ain't happening. 2 hours just ain't happening. I don't know. Part of me just be like, I might be able to, but no, I'm not gonna be able to. Period. Oh my god. I swear, that trip. Oh well. But yeah, no, it's one of those things where I don't even remember the last time. I don't think I've even been on a trip. Also, you think you can book an Evo for a weekend? Yeah, I can book an Evo for the weekend, 100%. It's the pain of using the Evo is annoying AF. Or take a coach bus. Oh wait, right, the coach bus. Yeah, yo, okay, honestly, between an Evo and a coach bus, I would rather take a coach bus purely because I don't have to drive. You know what I mean? And I think it's around the same price anyways at that point. And I'm like, why would I, you know, pay to, you know, or yeah, why would I have to pay to keep my attention on the road? That is such an idiotic thing to do. I go like, wait, I can just do things. I can read a book on the bus, but I can't read a book in the middle of a drive, right? Like I can do an audiobook, but that's not quite the same thing either. And I'm like, you know, I think a bus makes sense. Alright. Always take a coach bus into the mountains. It's 45 there and back. Yep. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. How often do you even go into the mountains? Is there any reason you're going into the mountains there, Minatozaki? Yeah? Oh, jeez. Okay, there we go. Why do you go there so often? That doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. Unless you're doing like a survey, like a land survey. I can see land surveys being a thing. But who was it? I did know someone who used to do, they don't do land surveys. Well, they do land surveys, but it's a different type where they look for species of insects and then catalog them and say, yep, no invasive species. You guys are fine for now. And they try to find a thing, right? It's nice to get away from the city. That's true. True, getting away from the city. That is a valid excuse. Honestly, for me, my getaway from the city is literally just not leaving my room. I need to get away from the city. Oh shit, where do you go? My room. Where did you go? I went to my room. I never left my room. But that's not away from the city. It is away from the city. I'm in my room, not the city. Yeah, the hotels are like 250 per night on the low end, but it's worth it for an overnight stay. No, 100%. 250 for a hotel? Yeah. 100%. I mean, that's why there are group trips where, you know, some people just have one bed and then they just have two people and it's great, but no. Nope. Some people you do not want to be with. For example, there is I do know a person who fell asleep on the couch while we were doing some other activities, and I swear to God, it was like we were at the table and then we hear the snoring, which is like straight up a lawnmower would have had the same effect. It was like having a lawnmower that like stuttered in the same room. And that guy was asleep. Or you get the 4 people in one room because there's 2 beds in the room. Yeah. And then it'll be like 400 per night. But it's still like 50 divided by 4 is what what makes the difference. Yeah. Oh my god, where's it? There it is. Yeah. That is crazy. But can you imagine trying to sleep in a room where there's like a lawnmower like in the middle of, and it stutters once in a while. So you have moments of reprieve, you have a little bit of hope, and then it just starts all over again. Oh, it's the same price as 2 beds instead of 1? Really? Oh, Jesus Christ. See, this is how out of the loop I am with hotel pricing. I really should travel more. Like, I really genuinely should start traveling and stuff, because I'm out of the loop. I need to know how to travel. There are so many things that I'm missing. And plus, it's great for streams like this, where I just be like, blah, 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 it's a thing, stuff, thingy, blah, blah, blah. You know? Yeah. You went to LA, it was 150 Canadian a night. You had 2 queens. 2 queen beds or 2 queens on your bed? Yeah, I know which one it is. I know which one it is. Oh my god. But yeah, where is LA? Is it south of Vancouver? That's a flight, isn't it? Isn't LA a flight? Because Seattle and I know Seattle is close by, but is Seattle close to LA? No, you know I only have 1 queen. Yeah. Hey, look, I don't know how drunk you were. You might have had double vision, okay? You know? Singular queen. Way south. It's 3-hour flight. Okay. It is actually way south. I honestly thought it was 1 province over and then south. Seattle's a 45-minute flight. I don't know. sometimes I think it's worth it to not spend the money and just use gas to get over the border instead of flying over for Seattle, because it's too close to, you know, actually care. That's what I feel like. But then again, right now it's not the best time to actually go into the US. If you haven't heard the recent things that have been happening regarding the current administration in the United States of America, not to delve too much into it, but apparently the ICE can do whatever they want? Question mark? I don't know. Yeah. Well, I was just saying, you take the bus, $80 round trip. Nice. Honestly, I'm gonna apply for a passport relatively soon, and yeah, I think I may make a road trip. I don't really want to go to the US though. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to go to the US, but I think it would be a nice experience to know how much better or worse Canada is compared. I actually can't go into it without getting detained because you have JD Vance memes on the phone. Oh no, that's all it takes nowadays? Is that all it is? That's all it takes nowadays? Oh, jeez. Yeah. No, I mean, as much as we say like, oh yeah, 3.5 years remaining, there are ways around that, I believe, and I think it's, you know, it is a thing. It is a thing. Ooh, ad starts in about 50 seconds here, so I'm just gonna continue doing this, and I'm gonna shut my trap, and then I'm gonna run the ads, and hopefully I actually remember to unmute my mic afterwards, you know? Well, here goes nothing. Running the ads. I'm gonna get some water. That's what I'm gonna do. Let's get some water as well while I'm at it. Yeah. Woo! Ad break is gone. All right. Okay, so ad break is gone. You know what? I'm going to give myself some little mango here. I'm a little. Oh Jesus Christ! I'm a little too weak-willed. I'm not gonna lie. I thought this was gonna last a week. It lasted 3 days, and that's not good because I can't intake too much sugar. I'm trying to lose weight again, but me also being a complete fatty fat. Sugar, carbohydrate. Yeah, I can't buy these mangoes anymore. I can only buy it if there's a big celebration now, because I'm just gonna keep drinking it, gulping it down. Like, damn. So yeah. There we go. All right. Holy moly. All right. Put things back in. Oh, Jesus Christ. I hate it. I hate everything. Oh my god. Yeah. There are a lot of people who actually ask me about the chair whenever I just drop it down to such a such a height. And they're like, "Wait a minute. How do you get it that low?" Well, it's actually a high chair, and then I drop it into regular mode. So to speak. Yeah. It's a little different. It's a little different. Yeah. I'm gonna admit, I do love and hate this chair. One, I love it because it doesn't take too much visual space, but it takes about the exact same amount of space as a regular chair would. And the plus side for me is that the armrests are still available, but they're all tucked into the back. So I can do armrests, like, you know, just push my arms to the back and rest my my elbows, but it doesn't impede me going into the desk. Right? One. Boom. Oh. Oh my god. Dude, you know what I just realized? It's August. It's mid-August. We're almost the end of the quarter. There's literally one quarter left of the year. Holy, can you imagine? What have I been doing the last year? That's crazy. I feel like I haven't even been here for that long. Doing streams and whatnot and getting monetized and going through a bunch of stuff. Like, what is going on? Holy. Man. Dude, I've had so many projects that didn't push through as fast as I thought it would. I have roughly about 1.5 projects a week, and my personal goal is literally 3. And meanwhile, I'm at half. It is acceptable to be at 1, don't get me wrong, but you know, everyone else is at 3, and I'm sitting at 1.5 per week, and I'm going, what's going on? So I'm changing up my systems in order to be able to do that. The sad part is it will drop me to maybe 1 per week in terms of the projects I'm able to do. However, but at the end of it, I should be able to do 5. I should be able to do 5. Everyone else is at 3. And I want to be able to do 5. Yeah, it's one of those things where I think part of it is I look at myself and I'm doing the project, and during those projects, I doubt whether this is the right way to go. And then I procrastinate in terms of like trying different things and just tweaking it the slightest bits. Technically, I'm working and I'm actually doing things, quote unquote, to be better, but I think I should just run with it. If I just run with it, I would be done much faster. I'll get the feedback much faster, and then I can improve faster over time. But every time I'm just sitting there going, yeah, I'm gonna just make sure this is correct. Let me just get all of the data in line and ensure all of these things, blah, 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 blah. And meanwhile, it didn't really need to be that, data driven. And I'm like, no, part of it is anecdotal. Like, don't get me wrong. Part of the data you really need is anecdotal. You don't need all of the proper data. You don't have to go scour the information out from the deep depths of a well. You just have to go, oh, this is the general information I need, and I'm gonna grab exactly those things and then just complete the project. But no, I'm that guy who just went, no, I will dig deep. I will find all the information, and then I will judge whether people need that information. I'm like, maybe we plan what information we need first, and then we just say, yeah, we'll just use this information. We're not gonna hunt for the rest of the information without it being in the plan. So we just plan and say, yeah, we need that information, and we go get that information, and we're good. Instead of having to go, oh, I didn't need that information, but we have it anyway. I think that's where I'm getting stuck at, right? Like I'm just quote unquote procrastinating by making sure it's correct as possible. When I already know it's correct, I just need to find which bits of information I need immediately versus ensuring that I need the information or not need the information. I should just be going, all right, here's the things I need. I will just go get those pieces of information. And if I look at it and see, oh, the information looks like it's missing a bit of things, and that's when I go dive in and grab that missing piece of information instead of looking at it and go, I need all the information, and then I shall make my project planning. I'm like, no, stop that. But yes, it is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous how that works. Oh man. But one of the things that's weird right now for me is that it is much hotter in this room and in this little area than, because I was in Vancouver, like Vancouver next to the sea, Vancouver, and it was fine. It was not too hot. And then all of a sudden, I went deeper into the section of Vancouver, the opposite of Vancouver, and all of a sudden it slowly but surely got hotter. I literally got off the train and went, whoa, it is hot over here. In comparison to Vancouver, I came in thinking, oh, it's kind of chilly, and then I went out of the train and I'm like, ew, that's kind of muggy and warm. It wasn't just warm, because I can take the heat. I don't mind the heat. For example, I lived in the Middle East. I am fine with about 30 plus degree weather. It's just when it becomes muggy and stuffy that I go, no, I don't think that's a good thing. I don't like that feeling, because it makes me feel like I can't breathe properly, even though I know I'm getting enough oxygen. My oxygen level is not going down. It's just my comfort is going down quite rapidly. Completely different thing. And I'm like, yeah, that should be fine. You should be fine. But it is slightly muggy here, so I'm actually a little bit on the uncomfortable side. Mm-hmm. Oh, speaking of the word uncomfortable, I actually, every time I see it and I read it, I say uncomfortable. If I'm reading it, I say uncomfortable. But if I'm just saying uncomfortable, it's fine. But if I look at the word and I'm reading it, I say uncomfortable. I do not know why. I straight up do not know why. I just know that I do it. I go, yeah, it is an uncomfortable day. It's like, why do you say uncomfortable? Why isn't it just uncomfortable? Just say uncomfortable. I'm like, oh yeah, I should just say uncomfortable. Why did I say uncomfortable? I think part of it is literally because I'm looking at the word and the word is spelt out uncomfortable. Meanwhile, I know the word is uncomfortable. Yeah. Okay. Man. Honestly, right now, I do like my setup where I can just be hands-free and it's fine and the sound isn't too horrible, but it is on the lower side and it isn't as full as I want it to be. It is slightly thin, so I might EQ it to sound a little more natural to what I'm used to. But, oh Jesus. Okay. Boom. All right, there. And the problem with that is, despite me having this type of microphone, I do want a different microphone that is very similar, because I use an instrument microphone in order to have the pickup be a little farther than I am. So right now I'm about 1.5 feet away from the microphone, and not only that, I'm facing away from it. The downside with this type of microphone is that it picks up reflections relatively well, and I'm literally in front of two flat panels called screens, aka monitors. And the amount of reverb I'm getting from those things is noticeable to my ears. And if you put on the music, put all of the other things, and you combine everything, it's not that bad. It is masked by the rest of the frequencies that exist on in the music, right? But I still hear it. It's not the best. I do wish it was a little bassier, so to speak. No, not bassier. Not bassier in particular. A little more mid-focused, and maybe a little bit higher in about the 125, just a touch, just to add a little bit of bassiness. However, if I overdo the 125, what happens is it becomes bassier, but it also becomes less intelligible. I find that it masks certain... I find that upping roughly in the 125 hertz range increases the gravitas, so to speak, the bassiness of the voice, but it reduces the legibility of the voice. So the clarity lowers, but the bassiness and a comfortability, I guess, can increase because, or not comfortability, it'll be a little less fatiguing to the ears just because there isn't too much treble energy, or comparatively less treble energy. So either I reduce the treble on this specific mic just a touch, and then increase the bass just a touch, just to be able to get a nicer, more natural feeling sound out of it. Because this one is slightly too thin. It's just slightly too thin, and doing that should fix that problem. It's just which frequencies in those sections of bass and treble do I bring up. Part of me thinks a touch in the mids makes sense, or a slight drop in it. One of the two will make sense, but I don't think both is a good way to go with this mic at the very least. Yeah. So I'm thinking maybe slight drop treble, slight increase, so for the equalizer. However, I know there are a lot of purists out there when I'm doing, for example, the keyboard typing tests. People would be saying, "Oh, you used an equalizer, so it's not the actual sound of the keyboard." I'm like, yeah, but if you think about it, me recording it, me EQing it so that it sounds a lot more natural to what I would hear from my ears is a little more accurate. Not only that, it doesn't really matter because you're going to be using it or hearing it on headphones or speakers that have nothing or that have a different tuning than the headphones or speakers that I was using to EQ this mic. So regardless, you're not gonna get the exact same sound as the actual keyboard. You'll get it close, but you're never truly gonna get it exactly. Right? But that's literally it. Like, it's not the worst thing in the world. As long as my mic is relatively consistent, it should be fine. And I haven't done too many keyboard reviews, so right now I'm setting up for that so that once I get the EQ and or the mic correctly, all I have to do is just keep pumping out a bunch of switch tests, keyboard tests, and whatnot, and then call it a day. I don't have to think about it too much, and it'll be fine. You know? Like, I don't have to push too hard. It should just be ready. All I have to do is hit record, go on stream, and call it a day. Because the more information that I have to process over the day, the more tired I get. And the more tired I get, the less likely I am to do stuff like stream, like do these things, the less efficient I do at work. And I'm like, no. Less think is good. However, if you think less for other small things, it's easier. There was this thing where, who was it? I don't know if it was Bezos or Zuckerberg, one of those crazy types that actually, gets things done at the cost of, being social. They apparently try to minimize the amount of decisions they have to make in a day. That way, when they do make a decision, it's a decision that matters over the course of days, or their productivity, versus something that is feels pedantic. For example, all they do is they have a black shirt. They use that same black shirt every day. They change nothing about it, and they keep using those black shirts, calling it a day, and that is it. It's like, what? Just a black shirt? And I've done similar. What I've done is every shirt, right? Every shirt that I have in my closet is effectively black or white, which means it matches with anything, or is within a certain color palette, which means I should be able to just grab almost any shirt and then match it with a overshirt, right? And then call it a day. Because I normally have two shirts on, like, I have the overshirt and then the inner shirt. But the fact is, the less that you have to think about small things like that, the more energy you have to be able to make bigger decisions. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start spending on stuff like that where I don't have to think as much. And one of the most idiotic purchases I did in the last week or two is quite literally, I bought a fountain pen, right? I bought a fountain pen, and the fountain pen was an excessive purchase, but I needed a red pen anyways, and I'm like, okay, I just need a nice red pen, because the red one that I have right now, I decided to use it at work, and it's actually doing well. I'm actually using it at work versus over here, because over here I use it once in a while, but I don't use it that often. So now that I have the other red pen, I'm probably gonna use it a little bit more, but at the same time, it might fall into the same pit trap that became the reason I don't use the red pen here at home. It's because I didn't have a purpose for the red pen. But I have bought a red pen, and it is currently just the main pen that I use for my journaling, right? My journal. Whichever one makes more grammatical sense, I guess. I feel like it didn't make any grammatical sense in any capacity. But either or. So yeah, I journal. As you can see, I have a bunch of pens on the left-hand side. I actually use most of these. I used to use these a lot more. I use it a little less. So they're only about a third used. So it's not too bad. And they don't exactly expire. And neither do the inks for the fountain pens. So I bought a fountain pen, and it is the Lamy Studio, not the Lamy Safari. It's a Lamy Studio, which is really nice. It is the 2024 limited edition. I was surprised that they still had some. Oh, that's a bit Paul. I looked at it and looked away. Oh, there we go. Boom. As you can see, it doesn't do justice with this camera, because it takes the red and then just pumps up the saturation for it, and I don't understand, right? But it does. That's what it is. And I bought that, and I bought a bunch of inks because I needed a red, brown, and green ink. And it wasn't on sale, so I was just like, well, I don't have a green ink, so I was gonna buy a green ink anyway. So I grabbed the green ink, and then I saw the red, and I'm like, ooh, that is a nice red. Compared to the red ink that I have right now, which is what I'm using for work, I do not like the red ink that I have at work. I use it because I just need to be able to use it and get rid of it eventually, and I don't think I'm gonna finish it in my lifetime. Not gonna lie, I don't think it's gonna happen in my lifetime, but I'm gonna try. I'll be darned if I don't. The bare minimum is I try. But either or, right now I have a much better ink that is red, and I'm very happy with the purchase, because that was the Garan Kadash. I can't pronounce it. I'm gonna just bring out the box real here. How do I say it? Oh wait, is it Graf? No, it's Graf von Faber-Castell. So it's a Faber-Castell brand, right? And oh wait, this is the wrong one. Boom. So this is the This is the coloration, rough coloration I have. So right around here, imagine it's a little bit darker. That is the color I got. So this is the Graf von Faber-Castell. So this is a Faber-Castell looking, what's it called? Ink that I really like how it looks on the page. So I'm just like, oh, okay, finally. And I use a fine tip. Weirdly enough, I use a fine tip. But because it is a European fine tip, it is not too bad. Like it still shines through. It is a shaded type of ink. In other words, it has a different shade as you write, and it doesn't have a consistent line. What's it called? It doesn't have a consistent line saturation, which is good because it makes the word or the lettering a little more interesting than normal. But I only use it on my personal journal more than the workspace. I say journal, but it's more like a calendar note thing. I have all of the checklists in there. I have general information, feedback, schedules, and all that stuff. So if that gets stolen, actually I don't have too much schedules on that. It's more that I make the schedule as I go kind of item. And if there's a schedule to be posted, I just kind of put it in there, you know. Yo, you have my coffee beans, Tilt. Let's go. Okay, so question. So those coffee beans, are they beans or are they ground? And also, was it that entire thing that you showed me, or is it just the beans? Like, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? Yeah. Beans, let's go. Beans. I can change how it tastes a little bit. I can refine it and use it in the coffee maker. Oh, let's go. Let's go. That's awesome. That is awesome. Oh my god. Okay. Honestly, I think I could use a thicker brush for this. But, you know, just the beans. Just the beans. Okay. Good. Because I was like, oh my god, dude. When you showed me that picture of this, like, gift set, I'm like, bro, I just want the beans. I don't need the rest of this gift set, but I just want the beans. But okay, if this is the only way I can get the beans, I will buy it. It's fine. It's fine. You'll try to bring it next time? Yeah. Okay. Fair. Yeah. You're assuming it'll happen next time. Something's gonna happen, and then be like, yeah, hey guys, I kind of have to cancel. Things happen. Blah blah blah. I was just asking if you want that as well. Yeah. Fair. Like, to be fair, I do want it, but I just don't see any reason to actually use it. I'm like, ooh, I want it for the sake of having it. But other than that, I'm just like, man. Although, I think I should have said yes, because the one I have right now, I do have, for example, I have blue things. I'm starting to get rid of blue things out of, you know, the stuff that I have in general. So blue dice, blue, you know, what's it called? Paintbrushes, the blue thing. Work was a bit of a bit. Okay. Oh, what happened at work there, Tilt? What did you do? Or what did the customers do in that case? No, there are. Oh my god. Being in customer service, I swear to god, the amount of people that are. The fact that it just happens every day. The amount of people that are just either pretentious or narcissistic or self-centered or a Karen, you'd be like, can I have one day? Just one day. Oh, no Karen, despite the constant flow of customers. No downtime, bro. Those are, you know, honestly, I hate those days. I love that I don't have to think about things and time just flies. Like, straight up, it just flies. But I hate it because I get really, really tired afterwards, and I'm like, just destroy me. I'm done. I'm done. You know? it's like a double-edged sword. It's like time flies by terribly quickly. You know? Upside. Downside is it flies by, but you were working the entire time. Right? Man. It is crazy. You know, right? But no, it's one of those things where it's too many customers, so time doesn't fly as fast. No! It's like a stop-start to the day. Oh. Yeah, I can see that being an absolute pain. I can see that being an absolute pain. Yep. That is fair. It's a bell curve. It's like one of those, it's fast enough that time flies. Or or it's so many that like it doesn't matter. It just feels like a slog. Yeah. Honestly, when I think about like customer service stuff and there being a lot of customers, I think part of it is the expectation that the customers will end up, you know, there'll be a finish to the customers, right? There'll be an end line, but when there's no end line and you think that there's an end line, you just feel bad. You don't feel like you accomplish anything. And you're at the downward curve of number of customers to time passing. Oh my god. Oh, I'd love to see the equation of that, you know? Number of customers, time passing, and the bell curve is just be like, yep, the more customers, the slower time passes. There's like a certain section where like, nope, it's too many customers. I'm freaking out. That's what it is. Yeah, fair. Holy. Man, it's a lot of things going on. Dude. Yeah. Honestly, I'm thinking of getting, what's it called, an editor for the channel, just so that I can get things done without getting too tired, because I'm doing a bunch of things simultaneously. But at the same time, I think I'm just gonna do it myself eventually. And I'm just gonna go real hard at it. So yeah, I'll bring the coffee beans. Yeah, okay. Just a cupping. Yeah, 100%. Ad starts in about 20 seconds there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab myself some water and stuff. All right, you have a nice one there, so yeah. And then I'll be right back and finishing the rest of these switches, putting them together, and then we should be good. Should have started a long time ago, but you know, it didn't happen. All right. We have returned. But yeah, we're almost done. We have about 10-20 left. And that should be, I think we should be able to do this entire thing in about 30 minutes afterwards, because it's just putting it together and it's not going to be that bad. And then we're just going to put it into the onto the keycaps over there. Holy. Like Jesus. Jesus! Alright. Boom. Alright. Boom, we're gonna grab a bunch of those things. Alright, go through. Oh, looks like there is a little bit. There, boom. Boom. You have returned Minatozaki. But yeah, back to the previous concert. If you're ever interested in traveling, let me know. No, 100%. I'm interested in traveling, you know. It's just I never really have a reason to go, so I never ever really ask. It's just like, that would be cool. But you know, you just never have a reason to do so. But, right? Like for some people, the reason to do so is just to go. And then I sit here going, if there's nothing to go to, there's no real point in going to places though. Now, is there? Right? Like for me, when I go to places where I do my walks, it's because I want to hit to a cafe that I haven't been to in a while, or it's kind of out of the way to through my normal travels. And I'm like, you know what? I want to hit that cafe up. Let's hit up that cafe. Let me buy some coffee beans, call it a day, see how it goes, and it's great. I've seen and went to a bunch of cafe places just because of it. It's amazing. Yeah. You've been all around Canada. There's a lot of fun things to do outside of your our tiny inlet. No, 100%. And have you ever noticed that a lot of the times locals are the worst people to ever ask for interesting things to do in that location? Because they just know the specific things and it's so normal that it's not interesting anymore. You know what I mean? So if you ever ask a local, what is an interesting thing to do? They'll give you the most boring answer ever. You know, they'll give you the worst answer. Oh my god. The best people to ask are the people who have been and found cool spots. Okay. Oh, absolutely. Locals can't be trusted with tourism. 100%. Heck, even the marketing. They don't even know why people want to go to the places they go to. Right? Man, like it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Man, one of the things I do want to do is there is a stationery place that I kid you not, it's 20 minutes away from work. However, I never really go to, and it is one of the more touted places. Like, oh, it's a nice vibes, has great supplies and all that stuff. It's like, oh, but I just never went, you know? You'll say though, if you're a nightlife kind of guy, Montreal needs to be in your bucket list. Yeah, no, I've heard Montreal are like party people. It's almost as if they're French. No, apparently, yeah. Everywhere else in Canada, nightlife is not really a thing. It's mostly just Montreal, and here there's barely any nightlife nowadays. The nightlife here is kind of bland and boring, apparently, according to the people that actually do things. A 3 a.m. shawarma hits different. Dude. Oh, dude, give me that 3 a.m. shawarma, bro. I love that. Dude, 3 a.m. shawarma, amazing. Amazing. Get it with a little bit of Pepsi. Oh. I think the Pepsi is a little much, but I think it's not the worst thing. Not gonna lie. Yeah, you gotta have a Pepsi with it. Yeah. Okay. Here's the craziest part, all right, that I never realized about Pepsi and Middle Eastern food, okay? When I came from the Middle East and then went over here, I would drink either I would drink either Pepsi or Coke, right? And what would happen is I would drink the Coke and go, ew, I guess I don't like Coke. I don't like the taste of Coke. It's really bad. Never mind. I do not like the taste of Coke. And then I would have the Pepsi and I go, ew, I don't like the taste of Pepsi. The taste of Pepsi sucks. I guess I liked Coke better. And then I would go back and forth, not realizing that I'm doing the same thing. Ew, I think the Pepsi was better. Ew, I think the Coke was better. And then realize, having them side by side, that neither of them tasted good to me. I'm like, oh my god, the Middle Eastern Coke and Pepsi taste so much better. That is not true. That actually is not true. I bamboozled myself. The difference is in the Middle Eastern food of some sort. Whatever you're doing with the spices, whatever spices that interact with the Pepsi, makes the Pepsi taste so much better. It makes that Pepsi taste so much better. It is ridiculous. I would taste it and went, whoa, this is the Pepsi I remember drinking as a child. And turns out, it's because of the food. It wasn't even just the Pepsi. It's the Pepsi was the same all along. It was just the food. I'm like, oh, I'm but a fool. I have never understood my entire life, for all I have done is eat Arabic food in an Arab country. It's the salt and spices in the food. Yeah, it's a combination of spices. Because if you're in North America, straight up, most of the people, their salt and spices is salt and pepper. And if you put a little too much white pepper, they go, oh my god, it's too spicy. Oh man, that white pepper, bro. That hit too hard. Too much of a kick. And I've realized that recently, you know, all the food influencers, the people who cook and whatnot and try to, do trends, they stopped using the word spices and they started to use stuff like umami to describe spices that aren't hot, right? Because people have associated the word spices or spice with heat when it's not necessarily just heat. Yeah, they don't use coriander or cumin. It's sad, honestly, the fact that they don't use other, like, the bitter type of spices. Yeah, you hate that so much. Umami is the dumbest cooking phrase. Yeah, but it's a Japanese word for a type of flavor, right? That isn't described in North America or in English, which is why they're using the word umami instead, right? It's like the feeling of bitterness. I don't know the specifics of umami because, don't get me wrong, I haven't looked into the word for such a long time, but when I heard it again happening, it's like, what? Yeah, umami loosely translates to savory. Yeah, but it's not exactly savory either. It's not like the actual savory type of taste. It's the spices that are bitter but has that savory taste to it, right? So that's what they're trying to use as a stopgap measure against people who don't like spices because they don't like spicy food, aka hot food that, like, burns your tongue kind of hot food. So that's what they do. They just call it umami in order to be like, no, it's umami, it's not spicy, right? So honestly, if it gets people eating better food and we can get better food in North America and people can stop, I don't like spicy food, it's too much for me. I'm like, okay, buddy. Yeah, okay, buddy. It's not spicy. It just contains some things of spice. Yeah. Alright. You think that in Japanese cooking there's a hint of sweetness that differentiates it from other countries? Yeah, no, I noticed with Southeast Asian, for example, Japan, Philippines, and Thailand, they tend to incorporate a lot of sweet with their flavor combinations. So there's like a hint of sweetness, whether it's in the back or in the front, but there's a hint of sweetness to a lot of the things that they make. Right? That, or they can go the complete opposite way and they just go straight up sour. Sour and savory, that's the combination for some of them. Yeah. Southeast Asian is more overtly sweet because they use rock sugar in a lot of the cooking. Rock sugar. Ugh. What is that sugar called? The stiff brown one. It's. I guess you could call it rock sugar, but it's basically a block of brown sugar that has solidified. Because that tastes different from actual just brown sugar. Because I highly doubt that's just sugar with molasses in it. I feel like it's a different type of sweet entirely. Because it's just a block. Yeah. Yeah, you know what you're talking about? I just called it rock sugar. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? What is that thing? I don't think it has an English name. Like, to be honest, they use it in making pho. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It just exists in those dishes. It's not the main flavor most of the time. It's there in the background, sitting there, glaring at you, saying, I am flavorful. I taste good. But yeah, no, I find it weird that people don't realize that a lot of the things that they eat that are sour contain sweet stuff in them to balance it out. You do like how sweet some of the food in Southeast Asia is? Like a nice green curry will always be sweet with a hint of spice. Woo! Dude, I really should try more Japanese curries out. I haven't tried too many Japanese curries, but I do like the taste of the few that I've had. But the thing is, I don't think the ones I've had are specialty just Japanese types of curry. I think they're just curry that is, you know, leans towards the Japanese type of flavor, but it's catering towards the North American audience is what I think it is currently. So sadly, I don't think I've had actual Japanese curry. So eventually I'll get to Japan at one point, you know, in my life, and I'll go, oh, actual Japanese curry. Hopefully I get some locals to show me exactly where the good stuff is and how to order it. That way I can just that, or, you know, I learn Japanese as fast as possible. Yeah, Japanese curries are incredible, but the only way to make it at home is using the roux blocks. Yeah, I guess. Is it a specific, like, it's just the, what's it called? Because I know there, you can go to most Southeast Asian stores, like, you know, like Price Mart or the actual places that sell these types of things. Like Nikkei Center has a bunch of these, and I want to buy it, and I would go, oh, but you know, I don't really want to stuff it into a bag that's already full, so I can really use it. I couldn't utilize it, so sadly. But I do go to Nikkei relatively frequently, so I might actually pick some stuff up there. But one of the things I do want is that they sell meat. Golden curry? Yeah, no, I wanted to buy one of those. I might just cave in one day. I might just buy it, and I'll just follow the instructions, call it a day, and hope to God it tastes good. Or hope to God that I personally like the taste specifically, right? Because there are times where I'm like, oh, this is gonna be so good, and I eat it, and I'm like, oh, no, it's okay. It's not what I expected it, but it's also like not something that I go, oh yeah, I would eat this. I would 100% eat this. It's like that in between of, oh, I mean, it's not bad. It's just, you know, if I didn't have to, I'm not going to, you know. It's a little sad. I'm not gonna lie. Have you ever done that? Like, I don't know what type of food you have that would be you've ever had, right? That you went, ooh, I think this is gonna taste good, and then you eat it and you're gonna like, I mean, it's not bad. The right to do when making Japanese curry is to cook all your ingredients first, make the sauce on the side, then add the ingredients of the sauce. Yeah, because you overcook the ingredients if you cook it simultaneously. Most people make that mistake, and unless you're like pro and you can actually do that to a certain degree, you're gonna probably mess up the timing to cook it, quote unquote, simultaneously. Like what I do is I do it in pans, so it always like simmers on the side. Oh yeah, potatoes, carrots, and then protein, chicken or pork. Whew. I don't know. I like my shrimp, man. I like chicken too, but I like my shrimp, man. That little sweetness from like the black shrimps. If you cook that stuff properly, bro. So good. So good. Otherwise it becomes like chewy and pain in the butt. Yeah, so yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, shrimp is a good in Japanese curry. 100%. 100%. Man. Holy. Okay. We're gonna push this down. We're gonna grab a bunch of these things. Okay. Alright. So apparently what people do with these things is, I guess I have to reopen this. I'm an idiot. What people do is they take this and they just kind of dip it in a little bit of the actual, what's it called? In a little bit of the lube. That's the word I was looking for. My brain kept thinking sauce. My brain kept thinking, you dip it a little bit in the sauce. It's not sauce. I can't. What is the word for this? Sauce? It's not sauce, brain. Brain, we know it's not sauce. Okay, this is better than before. What I'm learning is we just gotta go to Japan. I mean, I'm gonna go to Japan eventually, okay? The real question is whether I die before I go to Japan or not. I'll get there if I have to swim. Regardless, I will. Right, okay, I'm gonna get the brush a little bit. I'm gonna spread out the rest of this lube. Just a little bit of lube, and I'm just gonna spread it into that section. That way I can just put a little bit on the bottom and call it a day. Because apparently that's all you need to do. Apparently, according to sources from the internet. Ideally, I'd like to go, but next year. Oh, okay. Next year. Whew. Bro, I don't even know if I'll have enough money next year. I'm not gonna lie. Like, honestly, for the price of a trip, part of me wants to just buy a car. But then again, the trip is worth so much more in terms of value than the goddamn car. Because what I'm gonna do, use it once a week to twice a week? Like, nah, I don't know about that, buddy. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, eventually going to Japan is gonna be a thing that I can just do. And I'm probably gonna buy a bunch of things. I'm not gonna lie. There are a bunch of things that I want to do that is just, you know, go to Japan, do the thing. I'm like, what do you mean? You know, I wanted to see a bunch of sites. I want to go into like a couple of the hiking trails, honestly, and then kind of just do that. And also go to a bunch of restaurants. Like, personally, I don't care about like the other sites other than like some of the hiking trails and the restaurants. Other than that, yeah. You're gonna need a second suitcase that's completely empty. Honestly, I'm not even gonna buy a crap ton of things. I'm not gonna lie. If I'm going to Japan, I or any type of vacation, I'm just gonna have the bare minimum things that I would need, and then I try to find like a laundromat or stuff in there, and then I'd have one relatively large suitcase that's easy to lug around like the country. Because if you're bringing 2 suitcases, it's gonna be such a pain. At least I feel like it's gonna be such a pain, right? I don't think it's worth going through a country with a second backpack if you don't have like something like a car. You know what I mean? I think it's fine if you have a car or decent transportation that, you know, that isn't reliant on schedules other than your own. Right? Boom. If you're going to get an Airbnb, they have kitchens, laundry, and everything you'll need. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
You go in, you finish the entire thing. You run it as if you're living there, and you're like, whew, you're good. And I remember I was telling a bunch of people, because I was like watching a bunch of things regarding Japan, and turns out the food over there is so much cheaper. Is so much cheaper that it's about 1/3 the price that it would cost if you were gonna do it here. And then I had a bunch of friends that were kind of freaking out at the time, saying, oh my god, I don't know if we can afford this, plans are changing, I don't know if I can afford too much food, we might have to go in and, you know, spend less money on food, so it's gonna be mostly just 7-Elevens, but we're gonna have to go to a good food place once in a while. And I was like, dude, don't actually worry about it. Not only is the food gonna be probably more than fine, going to a goddamn 7-Eleven feels like going to a regular ass restaurant over here, apparently, in comparison. And I'm like, you know, and it's also cheaper. So don't worry in terms of like food, you're always gonna have enough for food. What I would worry about is getting into places that require a schedule. And that require specifically an appointment of some sort. That's where you kind of might get screwed. Everything else, you're fine. Right? But some people still freak out. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. It is fine. Yeah. Oh, recently, I think a coworker is leaving for Japan. Right? And they asked me if I wanted anything, and I was like, oh, I could use some weird coffee. If you find some interesting coffee, I'll just buy it off of you. You know? And here's the thing. Japanese coffee is not your regular coffee. The Japanese coffees, they tend to be floral because they treat it like it's tea. It's not your regular coffee that you would get over here. So it doesn't quite taste right either. It tastes like, why do I have coffee that feels like tea? It's because they treat it like tea. So the way they brew is almost like it's tea. So yeah, that's why it's like tea. It's roasted or dried like it's tea. It's taken care of like it's tea. It's brewed like it's tea. So chances are it's gonna taste like it's tea, except, you know, the coffee flavor of tea. So yeah, that's what happened, and I'm like, okay, you know, fair. That is a thing that does happen. Oh my god. Where is this? I need to spread that a little bit more again. Boom. Boom, now that's spread, I can just dab it a little bit. Boom. Put everything together. I don't know why I kind of like doing this stuff. You know, it's kind of mindless tedium that goes through once in a while. Yeah. Versus everything else that is, you should just go through, you have to think about it, things are happening. It still doesn't sound good. I don't know why. It's less scratchy than normal, but I feel like it's not quite there yet either, you know? I feel like it's a little much, to be real. Okay, what happened here? Boom, okay. Boom, 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 boom. As you can see, we got some lube in that section, so it's gonna stick a little bit, which allows me to just push it through, and there's gonna be little to no spring ping, and hopefully there's no spring ping, honestly. Oh, actually, I'm gonna try a couple of these to see if there's spring ping. There might be spring ping. No, there's no spring ping. Oh, thank goodness. There's not much spring ping. Okay, yeah, there's not. Oh, for a moment there, I was thinking, oh my god, maybe I should have lubed these springs. And I'm like, no, it's fine, it's fine. The way I'm lubing them just is fine right now. So it should be fine. It should be fine. We should be good. We should be. Oh, yeah, no. Oh, nope. Right there. Put that there. Grab this. Use that to grab the stem instead of my fingers, because my fingers are a little grubby and huge and don't actually fit. But yes, we're gonna go through. I don't know. Looking into the whole keyboard hobby as a whole, it feels similar to just the Lego hobby, where you kind of collect very specific sets, which is very specific keyboards, and then you kind of just build it. And that's part of the fun, where building it is fun in general. And a lot of people, I think they miss out on the fun because they think it's a lot of tedium. And like, you're right, it is a lot of tedium. But I think that's part of the fun. It's just enough tedium that you get through the day, and instead of excitedly awaiting your keyboard to be built by someone else, you sit there and you get a little bit of that IKEA effect, where when you actually build your own keyboard, oh Jesus Christ, when you build your own keyboard, it's like, oh my god, I built this, I put this together with my own 2 hands. It's so amazing, it's great. So people get that IKEA effect. For me, honestly, I don't get hit by the IKEA effects. I get hit with the, finally it's done. It feels so good now that it's done. I don't get hit with the, oh my god, I made it with my own 2 hands. No, I don't get that. I don't get that at all. I get the, god damn it, how is this so difficult to be turned into, finally, I have succeeded in my mission, you know? Completely different things. Just like one of the people that I know tends to say, okay, they don't tend to say, it's like a sound clip from a different streamer. They literally just went, I don't J-O to please myself. I J-O to fall asleep. We're a different person. Oh, ad break starts in about 30 seconds, not minutes. So we're gonna do that in a bit here. And when that happens, oh Jesus Christ, where's the lube section? Oh well. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Put this in there, put that through, and then I'm gonna grab some water right after this, and then we're gonna have an ad break. All right. Well, ad break and then water for me. But I'll see you guys in about 1:30, and I'm gonna go drink some water.
every turn. Oh, neck. Holy moly, Jesus, kabole. I am so screwed, bro. I am so screwed. Holy moly. Oh, how long have I been streaming?
Only an hour 30. And also, I started exactly at 10 apparently instead.
Dude, I wasn't even planning on that.
I was not at all.
Dude, that was cat hair.
I had cat hair in my lips. Like, goddamn. It was just probably floating by as I was like breathing in through my mouth as I walked outside. Jesus, crazy. That's all it takes, guys, for cat hair to go all over the place. All you gotta do is just walk outside and all of a sudden you got some cat hair on you. Alright. There we go. There we go. It's nice. It doesn't feel scratchy, but it sounds a little scratchy, sadly. I don't mind scratch sometimes, but there are times where when you feel the scratch, it goes, oh, that's not intentional. That doesn't feel like scratch. That feels like scratch in a bad way. You know? It's not like itching yourself and being like, ooh, that feels good. It's more like someone scratched you and it's about the scar is what it is. Come on. Jesus Christ, give me one. Boom. There we go. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're getting there. We're getting there. 1, 2, 3. Okay, boom. We got a little bit of that. We're gonna grab one of the. Oh, Jesus Christ! Way too much. Boom. Okay. Man. Holy. Dude, I can't wait to go eat later. It's been a while since I ate 3 meals in a day, and I ate through. I'm gonna be eating my 3rd meal later tonight. I just have to cook it. Part of me just doesn't want to cook it. I just want to go eat and call it a day. But no, I'm gonna have to cook it. I'm gonna be eating some tom yum. It's great. It's gonna be the last of the tom yum, unfortunately. It's instant tom yum, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, as much as I'd like fresh-ish tom yum, I don't really think it matters at this point. Be real. At this current moment in time, it being fresh. Plus, I add a bunch of ingredients that make it fresher than it normally would be. For example, I cook the shrimp on the side. I have green onions. I have broccoli. Not that you want to put broccoli into tom yum, but I just need veggies. Like, don't get me wrong. It's not the most ideal thing to actually use. You're supposed to be using bell peppers, and I looked at the nutritional quality of bell peppers, and it's mostly water. Like, there's barely any minerals in it. Okay, not too bad. Alright. Okay, no, you know what? I'll just grab this. Grab that, put a little bit on, grab that, push this through, go there, grab this, oh, grab this, not the other one, there we go, and then push that through, there, and then go through, but hopefully, there we go, it feels much better. Hopefully the tom yum tastes good. I know it's effectively good. But it's close to what you would have for actual tom yum, which is why when I went and tried it, I went, it's probably not even going to be close. It would be like hint of tom yum with noodles. But no, what I got, bro, straight up was like instant tom yum. I'm like, oh, it's not bad. It's more of a instant tom yum feel. Like it's not the full experience, but it's like 60% of the way there instead of 10. And I'm like, oh, that is amazing. That's awesome. That is way better than I thought it would be. And then I had this one where it was a prawn dish, where it was a prawn soup dish, and I tried it and went, ugh. I didn't like the taste because it was kind of fishy, but it was kind of towards the prawn taste instead of pure fish. But it was like prawn plus fish, which is why I wasn't entirely disgusted by it. Because when it's pure fish taste, holy, I just feel like puking. This one, it made me feel like uneasy at best. I was able to eat it, but I couldn't drink the soup. Like, I could eat the noodles because it was a hint of that taste. Or it was a hint of the fish taste with a general shrimp kind of prawn crackery-ish taste, but it wasn't a full send fish taste, which is, I don't know why, but ever since I turned around the 16, 17 age mark, my taste buds changed to the point that straight up fish tastes disgusting. And I don't know why, but my parents would like, oh, when you were a kid, you used to eat it. I know, I was there, buddy. Like, yeah, I know. So yeah, you just thought it was disgusting after people like butchered it in front of you. Well, it doesn't matter because here's the thing: I eat raw fish. I eat sushi just fine. I can eat ebi. I can eat salmon sashimi. I do not like the taste of salmon sashimi. I like what's it called? What's the surf clam called? There's a name for surf clam. I like the surf clam one. I like the taco one. I don't like the squid one. The squid one's like, it's okay. Like, I'd rather have fried squid, like calamari. I can eat all that, right? But only if it's in the sashimi form. But I cannot eat it if you cook any of them, except for like the octopus. Like, if you told me to eat cooked salmon or grilled salmon, I do not like the taste of grilled salmon. It's just disgusting, bro. It is just disgusting, bro. I do not know why it tastes disgusting, but it tastes disgusting to my taste buds. So whatever happened to me as a child, you know, oh well. I can't eat specific types of delicious food, except for, you know, sushi. So I guess it's not the worst thing. I don't hate it. For example, right now, one of the more famous things that I absolutely find disgusting is ketchup. I can get a severed limb. I can see blood. I can literally chop up an arm. I can literally have my arm, like at one point, my arm was like ripped from one end to the other. I'm like, oh, cool. It healed up, don't get me wrong. It healed up. And I was like fine with it. And then my parents just blamed it on, oh, he just saw blood and he didn't like it. I'm like, well, yeah, because I was a child. So at the time I didn't like it. But now, as a post-adolescent human being, I'm fine with it. It's just, I don't know, man. I feel like my parents just see me as the child they knew me as, not as the person I am currently anymore. It's one of those things where I have those regrets going, man, yeah, I hanging out with my parents just feels like becoming a child again, and I do not like it. It's horrible. And I go, yeah, if I don't have to deal with my family as much, I try not to, but I do my obligation of going to like events and stuff in order to, you know, to keep face for, you know, the quote unquote the parents. I'm like, oh geez, okay, cool, I guess I'll go. But crazy thing about, you know, Southeast Asian types of of old people is that they are gunning for the, what's it called, the propagation of the species. Because literally I went to this party at one point, like for of course it's like, you know, the Asian party, and I walk up to this old guy and I was like, you know, bless, you know, yep, hi, hey, hi. This guy didn't even say hi. He literally just looked at me and went, so where's your girlfriend? And I'm like, well, hi, and no, I don't have one. So like, you know what I mean? What's up with Asians? And they're like, where's your girlfriend? Where's your partner? Like, literally, at one point, I was already in the party and someone arrived later, and it was, you know, a female, and the female was going around, and then literally you get the same question except for, you know, the females. They go, oh, do you have a boyfriend yet? From all the women, and they're like, no, it's a little too busy. And I'm sitting there going, that just happened to me a while ago, except the other way around. I don't know why they do that. I guess it is part of the propagation of the species, but part of it is literally that, I guess it's the culture that they grew up with, that it's kind of weird. To them, it's weird that you don't have a partner yet at the age that you're at, right? The moment you're 20 plus, they're like, so where, huh? Where is it? Don't you have to, you know, propagate? Don't you want to go and, you know, go get frisky with a bunch of people yet? No? Come on. What are you gonna get at 50? They just assume you're never gonna do it unless they keep asking and pestering you about it. I'm like, dude, even if I did, the best way for me to dump my girlfriend at any given moment of time is just introduce her to my family. That's all I have to do. Like, I'm not gonna lie. That is the best way. If I was thinking, for real, I went, if I want to ever keep a girlfriend that I quote unquote obtain, I guess, like, I don't know how to not get canceled. Like, if I get a girlfriend, all right, if I get a girlfriend, if I want to keep the girlfriend, I'm just never gonna introduce her to my family, like, straight up, because holy moly, it's not that they're embarrassing, it's just that they're so fake that you can see the fakes slipping off their faces, and it creeps people out, you know. It's like, this is your important person, we shall be very, very understanding of your plight, and may you have children very soon. So when are you going to have children? When is the marriage happening? Oh, I thought you were never going to get married. Stuff like that. The moment they come in there, I'm like, okay, Jesus Christ. Yeah, no, I think that's an insta. That's what's gonna happen if I do that. So I believe that in my best interest, if I ever want to keep a girlfriend or get rid of a girlfriend, I guess, if I ever want to get rid of a girlfriend, I just introduce them to my parents. But even then, the hassle of introducing them to my parents is just like, destroy me. Horrible things, you know. But yeah, I never understood why Southeast Asian just be, bruh, where girlfriend? They didn't even say hi, man. It would be funny. No, it was funny that they didn't say hi, right? I just thought about it, but wow, that they didn't even say hi. Like, there was a lag between them going, so where's your girlfriend? And to me realizing that they just looked at me and just said that, you know, they barely even recognized me, and that is the first thing coming out of their mouths. And I went, no, you know, you be polite and all that, and be like, no, I don't have one yet. Yeah. No, I'm not really looking, unfortunately. So, and not many women approach me, so it's a thing. Like, oh, oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, you get this, you get that. There we go. There we go. Holy. Bruh. Oh my god. Oh yeah. I screwed that pooch up. Like, look at that. It's bent. It's straight up. Just bent over. Hopefully I didn't bend it too much, so it'll be fine. But yeah, that flew out of my hands, man. Like, it just went. Pew. Luckily they stayed together, so that's good. Oh my god, I have 10 minutes. Dude, I keep forgetting how long doing these switch lubing takes. And this is not even the regular switch lubing stuff. This is the speedy version where I don't go into the brush and go into the bottoms and the sides and all that stuff. I just went with the stem and then use the stem to lubricate the rest of the stuff and call it a day. You know? It doesn't have an... Oh, Jesus Christ. It doesn't have to be all the other things. So yeah, boom, 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 boom. Holy. My nose. I'm slowly cooking. I'm under studio lights. I kind of realize I'm under studio lights, as you can see, so that's why we have this nice little lighting grid here. And I'm supposed to have another light to the left. Oh my god, I'm just like adding lights. I have a 3-point light. I can get a 3-point lighting setup just for the stream. And part of me is thinking, yeah, I think instead of doing like just a 3-point lighting setup for the stream, I'm gonna do a 3-point lighting setup so that I can just record YouTube videos. That's what I want it for. Because I want to be able to not think and just clean the area and just start recording. Because right now, not only have to clean the area, I have to double check the angle, I have to reset the camera because the camera is in a very specific position right now, specifically for stream. And then it goes back and forth between either the stream version and the YouTube version. And I go, maybe if I just had either both as the same thing or in a different way, it would be much easier. Because I was thinking of using this camera, which I have for the stream, be the regular camera where I can just use it as the YouTube section. Because like if you look at it, it's not that bad in terms of this angle. And I think if I was just to use this section in the place I'm at now, it's not going to be the worst in terms of how it sounds on the actual video. Because on stream, it's not too bad. But I'm also using not the best mic for it. So sadly, I wish I could do a much better job in having the YouTube content. But I might have to, you know, give up and go, yeah, I think just to make sure the content gets out, I'm going to have to sacrifice a little bit of that audio quality and a little bit of the the video quality just to get the proper, what's it called? Get the schedule on in a way that I personally think is conducive to getting a proper YouTube channel. And it's sad because effectively between the projects that I do and the YouTube channel that I have and the streams, one of them has got to give, because this stream I do so that I can do bits of the YouTube channel. And that makes sense. A stone metal lurk drop for ya. Keep killing it. Yeah, no, I'll try. I'll keep trying. But effectively, my current bottleneck right now is quite literally the fact that I have to set up and it takes 15 to 30 minutes. And by that time, I could have just done the entirety of A-roll and could be editing already, right? But that costs either a bit of money or a little bit of sacrifice in terms of the actual stream itself. Not the stream, the YouTube channel itself, where the quality drops to a certain degree. But I'm also thinking that the quality will drop in a way that most viewers would not notice the difference in quality versus something like an actual camera, right? Yeah. So that's the difference. That's the difference. So hopefully, eventually we're gonna get to that point. Because right now, what I'm doing is I'm slowly buying things as I go or as I can afford it to quote unquote upgrade the setup just enough that it's a little easier to use, right? Instead of having to think to put things through, move things a certain way. Like, for example, right now, because sometimes I do mic tests, so I have this thing. It's just like kind of there. But it's just out of the way. Like, if you didn't know, that is just out of the way. It's in frame in some of the things, but you'd only be seeing this section. So there's just nothing here to see. So that's fine, right? So I do believe that certain sacrifices can be made and it will be fine. That way I'm a lot more productive than I usually am. But that's just me, and that's just a plan. And that's not like the full actually doing stuff right now kind of thing, right? So until I try doing it and I hit those bottlenecks and try to solve them, I'm not gonna know what the bottlenecks actually are, which is sad. Because right now I'm trying to do multiple systems or fix multiple systems, because right now it's not working for me. I have this thing where I do want to be able to finish my projects at work and still have enough energy to push my YouTube and the streaming a little harder and a little faster. So instead of relying on other people, I'm going to be using most of my energy to do all of the things. But the problem is, I don't have a lot of energy, right? I don't have that much energy. And if you lose that energy, you end up giving a subpar product just because you didn't have enough energy to put into it, which is kind of sad if you think about it. But sacrifices have to be made. Sacrifices have to be made. Therefore, I'll sacrifice a little bit in the video quality of my personal channel, right? And a little bit on the stream side, so that we can do a bunch of, I guess the stream side doesn't really do a lot of things. It's just that I just keep going through and it just keeps happening, I guess. Because with the streams, it feels more of a kind of chill, like I'm doing work, but I'm being double productive because I'm streaming the quote unquote work a little bit. For example, the photo stream tomorrow, which we're gonna do the edits of, that is literally just work. I'm just doing work. I'm probably gonna do it as fast as I can, and then I'm just gonna send it to the client, right? Which is a friend of mine or a person I know who was looking for a photographer, and I'm like, all right, cool, I'm available, I guess. And so, because I was too busy to get the photos done in a manner, it took them, it's about almost a month and a half before they're getting the photos, which is sad, and it's not very professional of me. But let's be real, they're not complaining because it's free, so so I'm just doing it on stream as a double. And then afterwards, I will be able to do a little bit more of the personal work where I do a bunch of photography, because I do like photography and I do want to do more of the product photography side. Because personally, when I do portrait photography, I go, oh, that's cool, but I don't really care, right? I do like product photography a lot more than portrait photography for some reason. I don't know, it might be things regarding inanimate objects. It doesn't have to talk back. All I have to do is move it. I'm like, I can manipulate an object, but I cannot manipulate a person to be like, yo, I want you to pose, I want you to look cool. No, it's my job to find a time where you look cool and capture that specific moment. And I'm like, I don't know. It's the same with landscape. I'm not that great in landscape, but part of it is literally because I don't go out to a lot of landscapes. The few times I did, I took a picture or two and it wasn't that bad, but it was at best okay. It was at best okay. Some of my friends were like, no, it's a great picture. I'm like, yeah, it's a picture that most people would take, and that's the kind of the problem. It doesn't have that look where you can say, ooh, that is a Naka photo. No, that's just a photo of this place. that everyone will take the moment they reach this peak. It's not specific to just how I make it look, you know? Those are two different things. I remember one of my friends, they were like, yeah, no, like, just make sure you know the light, blah blah blah, just take your time. And I'm like, dude, this is why I like product photography. I don't have to be like taking my time, go through it slowly but surely. All I have to do is, oh, I need the light to be more to the left and a little higher. I'ma just do that. I'ma move the light to the left and a little bit higher. Meanwhile, nature, landscape photography, be like, I'ma wait 2 years to get the sun at this very specific angle. I'm like, bro. Like, no, I'm not doing that. What was it? There's this thing that happens, I think it was in LA or New York, where the sun lines up with this very specific street that goes on for kilometers upon kilometers. And since it's such a famous shot, a lot of people just have this very specific looking photo. And the amount of people that go to it is a lot. Just because they want their shot of getting that photo that only happens every few years or so. I think it happens every like 3.5 years, where it lines up perfectly with that very specific, that sunset lines perfectly up with that specific street that looks relatively aesthetic even without the sunset. So it is one of those things. I know some of the locals, they also just take pictures of that street and it already looks good. But that is different from actual commercial photography. I remember I was going onto Threads, and I don't know why I got banned on Threads, by the way. I got banned, and I barely used Threads, and I only scrolled. I never even posted anything. All I did was scroll. I think part of it might have been the automatic, would you like to follow the same creators on Thread as you are following on Insta? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? I don't want to manually go through all of this stuff. And then I did that. That's all I did. And then I just went through Threads a little bit. And apparently on Threads, there was this little bit of an argument between a content creator and a commercial photographer. And the commercial photographer said that the content creator isn't the same as a commercial photographer. And of course, the content creator got mad. But that's a story for after the ads. So we're gonna run the ads, and I'll be right back. In about 1.5 minutes, I'll just continue building these things. But I will mute, and I'll be back right after the ad starts. Running the ad. See you in 1:30. Alright, we are back from the break. So yeah, that is the 2-hour mark, I guess. And we are still here. I guess the 5 minutes of me, what's it called? Looking at stuff and thinking to myself, oh yeah, because Twitch was failing during that time. It just kept being like unable to load. Turns out I had the wrong encoders on. It was crazy. But I was talking about, what was I talking? Yeah, the little bit of beef between a content creator and a commercial photographer. But basically, the commercial photographer went, yeah, it's kind of different. Content creators aren't professional photographers. The way professional you know it's late because when I'm starting to slur my words, right? But yes, they were saying, you know, a content creator isn't a professional photographer because a professional photographer does things differently than a content creator. Right? They do similar things, but it's completely different. And I went, you know what? You're not wrong. However, they got mad because they go, oh, no, we're professional photographers too. We do this for a living, blah, 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 blah. And we also do really good work, blah, 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 blah. And I looked at it going, dude, this could literally probably be avoided if you literally said commercial photographer. Because if you look at content creator photography, it's punchy, it's vibrant, and whatnot. And then you look at commercial photography, and it's so different. It's different. It's not quite stale, but it's simplistic and very obvious. It's ridiculously the type of obvious where you go, huh, that calls for a lot of attention and in a very specific way. Meanwhile, the content creator just be like, oh, this thing look good. And that's the difference, I think. That's the difference. It's the difference between the ability to look at it and go, oh yeah, that's a call to action. That's a really good look for that very specific thing. And it showcases that as a product that you can buy versus the other one being like, it just showcases the product in its kind of natural environment. A lot of the content creator stuff, they do what's it called, still life photography, and they do a lot of video Jesus Christ, they do a lot of video very well. I'm gonna just find that real quick before it gets completely lost, because that does happen. It's right underneath me, which is good. All right. Boom. Holy. Okay, where was I? Neck. Holy. Okay, we grabbed it. It's fine. There's nothing on the floor, so we're good. And we're just gonna dab that in a little bit of lube. Push that through. Push that here. Yeah. Apparently there are people I guess I could tell this story, but there are people who do lube. They're just lubing, and they're like watching a movie or a series, and I go, dude, how do you watch, quote unquote, watch a movie while lubing switches? Because no matter how I think about it, I can't watch a movie. At best, I can listen to an audiobook, because that makes no sense. There's a lot of visual things regarding, you know, quote unquote, a movie that you quote unquote watch, not listen to. I listen to a movie. Can you imagine the audacity of listening to a movie? Like, why would you do that? Why would you listen to a movie? That is some crazy stuff right there. That's ridiculous. Like, why would you? Like, why? Just why? Why you do that? Oh my god. Now, how many people literally just have a bunch of things on one side of the monitor? Yeah, no, because I do that too. Like, for example, even right now, even though I'm trying to pay attention, I'm doing things on stream, I'm talking a bunch, I'm trying to keep people entertained and whatnot, I literally just have a stream on the side of my monitor, and I kind of just listen to it in general, and I don't really pay attention to it. It's just background noise to think as something that's happening in the background, like it's busy. And I've heard that people are more productive sometimes in cafes because they're in a place that is bustling, and they feel like if they weren't in a place that's bustling, they can afford to relax. Meanwhile, if they're in an environment that is bustling and things are happening, they feel that they have to be hustling and bustling as well. Which is why some people do very well in a cafe, right? So, I don't know. I think I probably eventually will give the cafe thing a try, because here's my crazy idea. Because I can work effectively wherever I want for the most part, and by for the most part, I mean there are certain parts of my work where I don't have to be in the office and or here in the quote unquote stream room, aka the bedroom. Give me a sec. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't have to be in the bedroom for it, aka in front of my computer. I could literally, but I do need a computer. I do need a compute unit that has the ability to write down text. And as much as I'd love to just go, oh yeah, just use a notebook and, write things down, I'm fully aware that if I write things down, that means I have to transcribe it and put it in to an actual document. And I went, yeah, but that's the point. I can't do that. At that point, it's just extra work. Mm-hmm. Although, apparently nowadays you can probably do it, especially with AI, right? You can actually look at a piece of work and go, yeah, can you copy and paste this onto a document for me? It will probably be able to do it. I think the part that causes kind of an issue is that you have to double check the work to see that it was transcribed properly into the digital format. Because going from going from analog to digital format, I think that is where the issue lies. Because as long as you can assume accurately that the digital formatting is correct, you should be good. However, from my experience, even though it gets the words correctly, it gets the formatting incorrect. And I go, man, the formatting's not quite where I want it. It's not great. I guess I'll just tweak, and it will just take the same amount of time. So at that point, you might as well have just started with the digital format and done the project there. And I go, I guess. So my idiotic plan for such a thing, to solve that problem, is to buy a laptop. But since I do a bunch of other things, such as video editing, my brain immediately went, you're gonna buy a MacBook Pro? And I went, no, we don't have to spend that much money. Then I looked at him and like, yeah, I think a MacBook Pro sounds about right. Because if you do any video editing, it will go through it just fine. Yes, we know that, but we don't need the mid-spec MacBook Pro. And then I looked at the matte nano display. Dude, for Canada, it's $225 just to have the nano display. And I was looking at it going, but yeah, the nano display looks so good. It looks so good. And if you work in a place like I do, you have like small pinpricks of light that just like goes into your eyes, and you go like, ugh, it's annoying. But now the nano display goes, yeah, we'll diffuse that a little bit for you, so it's not as prominent. And we go, you're right. It looks good. And that's just the nano display. It's $200 for the nano display. And then if I wanted the 42 gigs of 48, yeah, the 48 gigs of RAM, just so that, future proof it a little bit, so there's a higher chance that it'll last at least 5 years. Yeah, that's another $600. So that's $800 extra over the $3,000 200 asking price. So now the thing that I want and I believe is the most likely to last me at least 5 years is going to be $4,400. It's almost $5,000 just to do that. And I went, $5,000. But let's be real. You are either going to spend $3,000 today, and then in 3 years, you're going to spend another $3,000. Or you save yourself the hassle and you spend the $5,000 and not have to care about it for about 5 years. Roughly 5 years. I say roughly 5 years because it doesn't guarantee that I will definitely make it last 5 years. It's just the likelihood of it lasting 5 years is much higher in that configuration. Because a lot of people think, oh, let me just future-proof. Yeah, you can't truly future-proof because you don't know what's going to happen. All you can do is increase the likelihood that you will not need to upgrade. That is all you can actually do. But all in all, right now, my current plan is hopefully if I can get the funds for it, or if I'm able to, push things along a certain way, I should be able to spend the $5,000 plus $2,000 plus $3,000. So it's about $10,000 to get a proper setup. So it's a laptop, a camera, and a camera lens. It's literally 3 items, and it's gonna cost me $10,000 in total. And I can't do it over the next few months. I can do it over the next year or two, but I can't do it in the next few months. And I go, Rick, I have to find a way. The only thing I can think of, and I kid you not, it's the most ridiculous thing, is I'm just gonna lease it or go through like the monthly payment things, because that I can probably afford in that manner. But at the same time, that just means I technically have debt. But also at the same time, it is 10% interest, and I go, 10% interest? It's guaranteed interest because it's just happening, and I'm just paying the 10%. I guess I could double check with an employee going, hey, I know it says 10% interest. Is that 10% interest applied on the price, or is that only applied monthly? So if I went for the entire year, I'm only paying for 10% of, let's say it's a 2-year plan, right? Am I paying for the 10% of the entire 2 years that's just being tacked on monthly? Or am I paying for 10% for the first 12 months and I just pay the rest of the 12 out, which means I only get a total of, I guess, 5% interest effectively? Because they don't like you paying these things off. Like, don't get me wrong, these these processors that do the monthly payment kind of thing, they don't want you paying it off because they get more interest every time you don't pay it off. And that's the problem. That's how they get you. But we might just do this tomorrow. I'm not gonna lie. I don't have the time to be able to be like, put this back onto a keyboard and then test it out and stuff. So this is gonna stay here for a little longer, sadly. But at least it's done. At least we are finally done with this. They are lubed, and it will be glorious. So tomorrow we are going to be doing a regular photography editing stream. I say regular, but we normally don't do that as often. We're going to be doing the photography stream. It's going to be around 9 to 10 Pacific Standard Time. Hopefully we can get to it. But that is pretty much it. And I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow. I was about to say next week. It is not Friday. Hopefully we get to finish the Talos Principle on Wednesday. We are at the last bit there. I know last week I wasn't able to. I literally just fell asleep. I'm not even joking. I fell asleep. And on the Monday last week, I literally forgot that I had to stream because it was a long weekend and it felt like a Sunday. And then I woke up the next day and realized, oh, it's Tuesday. So it was, I was just an idiot. But Anyways, I'm gonna see you guys next time. Again, make sure to have a nice one. Bye.